I know it's too early to talk about cabinet seats and stuff like that, but the question is that how would you go on about it, about allocating cabinet seats among the 8 parties of you?
Remind me the first part of your question. It's a threefold question.
Yeah,
I understand number 2 and number 3. Can you remind me?
The first question was the MOU states a lot about the what and the why, but not about the how. How are you going on about that?
Okay. The first part of the question is about, how to make it happen, but it's not really the objective of today. Today is about setting it up, as a good starter, in the sense that we have to work together going forward to declare our policies to the parliament before, after I become prime minister. So today is only the first step. There's a lot of immediate next steps that follow that, and that will probably explain a little bit more on how to really come about change. So that's part of the first fold of the question. In terms of 112, I think we've been very consistent before the election and after the election. I have made my interviews with a couple of media outlets that it's something that we Move Forward Party confirmed that the law amendment will be continued, but it's not going to be a pressure in the sense that whether any other coalition party will have to be part of that MOU. But I think you probably hear it from the debate venues a couple of times that I don't think when the time comes, Move Forward Party will be alone in the sense that we submitted this law amendment. The third part, cabinet allocation in terms of individuals, next steps. So with the next appearance, you will probably hear some more details going forward.
Become the Prime Minister of Thailand, how would you transform Thailand's role in ASEAN and other international organizations? And thirdly, tomorrow there's a protest in front of Parliament. So I think the aim is to push senators to vote for you. So what's your take?
Okay, first of all, my deepest condolences to the people of Myanmar who lost their lives, lost their families, and lost their homes because of the tragic event of Mocha cyclone. I had urged the caretaker government to take a swift action, especially on humanitarian assistance to help those who were impacted by this tragedy. I also this as a pivot opportunity for Thailand to work with any other ASEAN leaders as well as international organizations and communities to start to establish a humanitarian economic nexus in order to help alleviate the dire situation that had happened in Myanmar for the past couple of years. In the last couple of weeks, I had made a couple of comments that Thailand is experienced, ready, willing, and able. We have a protocol with the Prime Minister's office and how we take care of all these situations along the border. Non-refoulement principles is one of them. That was already clear in the legal basis, but it was not implemented. So as an incoming Prime Minister, we will make sure that we have these strong legal basis to make sure that the right principles of how to engage Myanmar in the most legitimate way. The second part of the question, my foreign policy is revolved around 3 R's. First is revive, second is rebalance, and third is to recalibrate. Revive is, it's not going to be a quiet diplomacy in the sense that, if you understand, no words, no weight in international affairs. The second, when it comes to rebalance, I think we have to think about this, that the middle power can also lead in what's going on in the world, and it has to be a rule-based diplomacy. And recalibrate is also the way we think about foreign affairs, in the sense that how we can have a mutual benefits for the countries and any other organizations around the world. That would be my take on your question.
Do you expect to be Prime Minister at the end of all of this? And thirdly, regarding cannabis, with what's in the MOU, what does that practically mean for all the cannabis shops that have sprung open across Thailand? Thank you.
Okay, the first question is about the feeling. Oh, how I would describe today.
The spirit of negotiation.
The spirit of negotiation is fruitful, comprehensive, and a good start. That would how I would describe it. The second part, yes, confident. You know, I'm Prime Minister-elect, and there's several roadblocks, as you understand it, but we have a strong team to manage it, and hopefully to be able to minimize risk and minimize the destabilizing factors that affect the economy. We are addressing that day by day in the weeks to come. Thirdly, memorandum of understanding is about shared values, shared commonalities, you know, shared agenda, and also shared accountability. If we sign an MOU and we kept it to ourselves, the practicality of it is probably, you know, not something that I could answer you directly. But because we're here today, right in front of you, right in front of the media, right in front of the international community, so I think that shows some sense of accountability of this memorandum of understanding, which is the first time in Thai political history. Okay.
Sorry, I meant what does it mean for the cannabis shops, all for the practicalities moving forward, cannabis discussions that you've had. What does it mean for all those shops that have opened across Thailand?
I think it means a couple of things. It means to the society and the people at large that cannabis, the benefit of cannabis will always outweigh the disadvantage of having cannabis. Secondly, for the shop owners, if you had followed the rules, if you had followed the protocols, if you did everything correctly, there would not be any impact on you. However, if it's illegal imports, if you open the shops without any permit, then we have a strong legal mandate to be able to control and slowly adjusting Thai society, especially school children, my children and your children, to the exposure of cannabis. Understand that it's a right to control the agenda, which is part of democracy. You know, election is one thing, freedom of the press is second, and the control of the agenda is third, for example.